Okay, we are at the winery. We're gonna get Fen out and let him pee on some stuff and then head over to our table. And we got here right when it opened, so it's not busy. We got a nice shady spot. See how he does today. Hi, buddy. Got our chicken, bag of chicken, extras, clicker, tennis balls. We've got a bag of goodies for him as well. All right, kid. Wait. Free. Good boy. Okay, so this is actually the winery that we are getting married at next year. It's just down the road from us. We love it. Both of the dogs are going to be involved in the ceremony, and we're bringing Fen along today to start to get him used to it and just to have a glass of wine. It's been a minute since he's done any sort of patio experience like this, but he actually did this a lot when he was a puppy. This is much more going to be a come along with us and see what I did with Fen rather than a step-by-step tutorial. But I'm going to include a bunch of tips throughout the video, narrating what I'm doing, why I'm doing it, why that might be helpful for your dogs at home. So come along with us. So this is the very first clip that I'm filming right after we sat down, and Fen is already calm. He's focused on me. He's taking food, which is huge because Fen is not a huge food dog. I do have chicken, but he's taking food right away, and he's actually very relaxed. Part of the reason that he's very relaxed right now is one, like I said, he's got a lot of experience with this. He's never been to this location before, but I've done this actually quite a bit with him whenever he was younger. But more so too, we exercised him really thoroughly before we arrived here. That is a big tip that I do have. If you're going to take your dog into a situation where they're just going to be on a short leash and chilling with you, you really got to make sure that that dog gets their exercise and their energy released beforehand. That's not fair to them. If you show up into a situation like this and they're pent up full of energy, they're not going to get a chance to release it in this type of environment. This is actually something that we want our dogs to be a little bit more tired and kind of ready to take a nap instead of wanting to run a marathon. Now, the other thing that I'm doing with Fen in these initial clips is I'm training him. I'm asking for a bunch of his tricks. For Fen, this is actually just a gauge of how he's feeling emotionally. He's very calm in this moment, and he's actually extremely relaxed, but his ability to take food is a good indicator of that. So if I'm offering food and he's not taking it, that tells me that he's a little bit stressed out and I need to do something to help him out in that situation. Now, Fen took food right away. If your dogs don't take food right away, that is really okay. Most times, actually, in distracting situations like this, our dogs need to take in their environment before they can give you full focus, before they can take food. So if your dog is not taking food and they're wanting to just watch everything around them, as long as they're doing so calmly, I would allow them to. Now, here we actually had our wine and our food being delivered. Here in this situation, that can be a challenge for a lot of dogs. I'm really proud of Fen. He is being super neutral in this situation. We've kind of taught him up until this point that most people out and about outside of our house are not going to say hi to him, which creates a very neutral dog around other people. Now, he still gets very excited whenever he gets the opportunity to meet somebody. So easy management strategy. Ryan's keeping him on a nice short leash in case he does decide he wants to launch himself into the person. And here we've got food being delivered, and it's actually right in front of him. So he got a little bit excited, but a nice little short leash, easy management strategy. You can also feed in these moments as well.
The board was resting on it.
It's very tempting. I understand. You get chicken. Okay, this is hard for any dog. Basically, I'm rewarding Fen here for just a default leave it. We have him on a short leash just in case he tries to go for the pizza. I'm rewarding him lots with chicken. He's gotten lots of practice with this at home. I would try to avoid this situation if this is the first time you're taking your dog to a patio, having food that they cannot have directly in front of them. But Fen did a really, really nice job. He's gotten practice at home with this, kind of a default leave it in essence. But this is hard. Try to avoid this situation if possible. Oh, that's enough. So this would also be a good opportunity for me to talk about what I would recommend bringing along with you. I did have a trachea chew for Fen. He just didn't really want it. He's not much of a food fan in general, but chews especially. So when you're eating would be a great time to also allow your dog to work on something as well. So like a stuffed Kong, a chew. I'm just feeding Fen high value treats here. That also works as well, but come prepared. So I didn't talk much about this in the beginning because it doesn't really apply to Fen, but right when you get there, offering your dog a high value chew like a licky mat, a stuffed Kong, a bully stick, a buffalo shin bone, something of that nature, right when you get there can also be really helpful to help them calm down. Chewing and licking are natural stress relieving behaviors. A lot of dogs won't work on something like that right away. You might need to give them some time to observe, but shortly into when you arrive offering that to them, I did have that trachea out, I think, at the beginning of this video, but offer it to them. That's going to help your dog naturally calm themselves down if they're willing to work on it. So at this point, we've been here for, I'd say probably 30 minutes at this point. I have done some trick training with Fen. That also, like I said, is a good tell of how he's feeling, but it also gives him something to do. We've been here for a little bit and I'm kind of just allowing him to just be at this point. Some dogs might lie down at this stage, is kind of what I'm waiting for. Fen takes a little while to lie himself down, but he's nice and relaxed. I'm rewarding him. There's some people that are taking pictures down by the water and I'm rewarding him for watching them calmly. That is a huge thing that you'll want to work on with your dogs in a situation like this, is rewarding them for actually watching people and other dogs go by calmly. So definitely break out the treats for that. And then just kind of letting them chill and observe is really more so what I'm starting to do. And here I think we're going to have someone at the table next to us pass by. So again, I'm going to shorten up on the leash just in case Fen decides to fly into them. That's not a behavior that we want. But again, I get a nice neutral reaction from him. So I'm praising him here. And then eventually when he kind of turns around, I'll offer him some chicken, but I'm not interrupting this because he's actually doing really well. I don't need to distract him away from watching the person walk away calmly. That's actually a behavior that I want. So I'm not interrupting this whatsoever. I'm just letting him observe. If your dogs are watching a little bit more excitedly, I might, try to redirect with food right at their nose, try to get them focused back on you, ask for maybe a sit or a down in that situation, as long as they're excited and not fearful. If your dog gets fearful at any point, I really recommend leaving. I think that keeping them in a situation that they're afraid of is really not going to be any benefit to them whatsoever. But if they're on the more excited side, trying to involve them in some basic training, obedience type stuff with you can be helpful whenever there's distractions around. But Fen looking around calmly like this is most of what we're actually doing here. And it's really boring. Quite honestly, it's really boring, but that's really what it should be. And if you work on this and train this, that's kind of what it ends up being. And he's going to have a nice little moment with Ryan right here, which is great. But yeah, the majority of the time I'm filming that he's really not doing a whole lot, which is ideal in a situation like this. He just is calm, he's relaxed, he's shaking off. If your dog shakes off like this in a situation, praise him for that. Release of good stress, which is good. And we're getting ready at this point. He's kind of getting a little bit antsy, so we're going to walk him around a bit, giving your dog some breaks from sitting quietly and nicely at the table with you, which is a hard ask for a dog that's not even 2 years old quite yet. For him to be this calm for a long period of time is a big ask. So we're going to give him a little walking break down by the river over here. So if that patio has an opportunity for you to walk your dog even down the street and back, give them a break. I think that's really helpful in a situation like this. The winery is just great. It's just a lot of nature. So lots of places to sniff and explore. This can help your dog be able to come back to the table and settle a little bit better. And when we got back, nap time, Fen ended up actually lying down on his own and falling asleep in this situation. I think with him especially, but a lot of dogs too, if I were to ask him to sit or lie down, it wouldn't have the same effect as him choosing to lie down on his own. And he was completely calm the entire time. So there was really no need. If he wanted to stand, he could stand. If he wanted to sit, he could sit. If he wanted to lie down, he could lie down. I don't need to tell him what to do when he's calm like that. But again, if you have a dog that's a little bit more excited, asking them to sit and then lie down or target a specific, like the bandana that I have, asking them to target a specific spot can be really helpful to actually teach them what you want from them in this moment. And here is just a perfect moment. I'm not even working him at this point. He's just nice and relaxed. He's lying down. This is kind of what I want as a patio dog. I want him to be boring, essentially like this. And a lot of this video is exactly this. It's just him chilling out. I'm rewarding for specific moments that might be challenging, like people passing by. And here, our waitress just checked us out and he continued to lie down the entire time, nice and relaxed, observing her calmly. That is exactly what I want from him in a situation like this. And doing it over and over and over again and rewarding him for watching people and dogs pass by calmly, for practicing relaxing and lying down in these situations, making sure to exercise ahead of time just really makes all the difference with this. I would also really recommend picking the right time to go. I didn't mention this at the beginning of the video, but we came here right when it opened so we could kind of have our pick of a spot. We got a nice shaded area down by the water, away from a lot of the crowds and people. If you're taking your dog to a situation like this for the very first time, don't go at the busiest time. Don't go midday Saturday to a brewery. That's not going to be setting your dog up to succeed. That's definitely going to set them up to fail and be overwhelmed in a setting like that. So pick the right place, scope it out ahead of time, pick the right setting where you want to sit, the environment. If there's too many dogs around and your dog is a little distracted or excited by other dogs, maybe come back a different day, ask for a different spot. There's different ways we can mediate that. But everything you do ahead of time is really what sets your dog up to succeed here. I also really recommend working on just observing people calmly in your nearby park or your neighborhood before a situation like this, making sure that your dog knows how to relax and settle and just watch things go by calmly. Another skill that Fen and I work on a ton on his day-to-day walks is just relaxing and watching the world go by. That can be invaluable for a situation like this. More potty breaks right here. So this can be a lot. This can be a lot for any dog, and giving them breaks I think is really, really advantageous. And Fen totally rocked it in this situation. I'm really proud of him. And hopefully this was a little bit helpful for all of you guys to be able to see Fen and maybe what you guys can try to do at home as well. We're going to do another little quick training session here, but I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and let me know if you have any questions. Boring training is successful training in this setting. It should be boring. It should look boring. That's basically your dog succeeding in that moment. We want them to be neutral and relaxed. So yeah, let me know if you have any questions. I am posting the full length of what I filmed at the winery here on my Patreon if you want to check that out. And yeah, I'll see you guys in our next video.